sheriff's department and the police and the president and the Supreme Court.
Okay.
And
chips.
Yep, chips and the forest ranger and the federales are with us as well, and Interpol is there. We are with the Oinkster guys, and we are knocking on the doors of people who are reaching for oxygen. The law enforcement agencies don't like the Oinkster guys because we're both responsible for pretty shady activities, but there is an even greater evil with this. Oinkster's gonna point. Like, there's going to be this. If you have a list where you can get all of your favorite audio files, that's going to exist. As long as that's true, you have to see it.
Or at least not very much so. The required. Been seeding lately?
Yeah, sure. I'm seeding entire catalog of one Mr. Hourglass.
Wow, that's a very
Yes, and there obviously that is a tree trunk off of which many branches exist. Harley Cloudy Patriot is going to be an optical file that you can see.
Okay, what is that?
Harley Cloudy Patriot, the Sarah Val essay collection. Do you know her better from her?
I know the wordy shipmates. Is that
The Wordy Shipmates was. It's sort of neither here nor there. But yes, and then of course we got Pretty One Day.
when you are adulting, that's my Dave. When people say I'm going to see Dave,
Yeah. I'm camping out. Man, I got the cooler packed up and I'm hitting the parking lot to tailgate hard before Dave. I'm gonna be fucking hippie flipping, man. I'm gonna eat a quarter of mushrooms and drop 2 fucking Molly stacks, parachute them straight to my gut. And they go, oh shit, alright, what do you hope he plays? And I'm like, I'm hoping he does some stuff from Barrel Fever.
he's gonna do this.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. And if he does Trucker Buddy, about the urine bag that you can tape inside your leg, I'd just about die and go to heaven at that point, man. I'd be ascending into the rafters.
Hey, welcome to Hollywood Handbook and Insider's Guide to kicking butt and dropping names in the red carpet line like college musicians. It's so nice to see friends. It's so nice to see repeat guests that we haven't seen for a little while catch up with what they are up to. These are famous guests on the show and friends of ours. They've been on the show before.
But they exist off the show as well.
Mhm.
Sometimes people, they listen to
This
the
is
show
interesting, yes.
and they hear guests like you guys, and they think that when they turn off their little box or they stop their episode, often before the episode is finished, and they try something else, that you stop, doing what you do. But it's
Just
not true.
existing.
Yeah, it's not true. You're in the world and you're
Yeah.
trying to affect a positive change.
That is actually really helpful for you two. Let's start with this. So, like, once the show's over, that you're still alive, you're still out there doing stuff, and because that would help. I think a lot of our listeners not be as upset, not cry, not freak out.
Yeah.
Dom and this guy's man. This is.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
This
Dom.
seems like a
This
Dom.
guy's man.
Yeah.
I think the last time we spoke, we were in a different place. You know what I mean? Like mentally, physically, we were in a completely different place. But we definitely exist outside of the pop. That is the truth. I exist. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of stuff, man, to go around, man. People can handle it, or they can't. You know what I'm saying? Very polarizing outcome of stuff, man. Hot or cold, above and down, all that, you know. Talk a little bit about your temperature, because you haven't. You were telling us before we started recording that you have been breaking out into like a huge sweat, and you'll just be like completely drenched and feel like you're burning up. And minutes later, you need to put on like a big really hot, sweaty, cough. That doesn't seem related at all. With cough, for most people, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Being hot doesn't make me cough. I disagree. Okay. I disagree. When you get that heat cough, that like, is it hot in here? Yeah, man, are you doing it right? Because a lot of people cough. Disgusting kind of coughs to release the hot air, like it's a way of cooling himself off. It's like almost like a smokestack. It does. It's like dogs panting. When you see a dog panting and they got this, that's them cooling themselves down. Right? Because dogs don't sweat. We checked. They don't sweat on their fur or on their body at all. That's just how they have to cool themselves down. And the Scuzzman's the same way. Well, he does sweat. He's talking about
just
sweating.
said a second ago that.
Sorry, but the way he calls sweat, I don't think it's a different thing. I just think he's unlocked something where it's like, okay, so we see these animals, these incredibly intelligent animals, the dog, who has found a method of cooling themselves down, and we go, well, we sweat, so we won't also take advantage of this other thing that exists, that we've seen it be effective. So, like, why, because you sweat, don't you also pant and ultimately cough a lot, hard and loud, in order to help cool yourself down quicker? And with Scuzzman, I think we found, maybe the reason is it's almost too effective, because then you do get so cold that you fall asleep. Yeah, that's right. I'm asleep a lot, like every waking hour of the day. Don't call them waking hours. We've talked about this.
Anything else?
Yeah, that's what you just call it. That's what you call it. Waking hours. They know what I'm saying. When you sleep, you're up for waking hours, and you're just out for the count.
When you're asleep, you're not up. You're asleep.
My sleep days are gonna go round and round. We discussed that about this. I'm trying to get him to see this. They saw the goal today and said, I'll have one order of the horns, please. You just sound weird.
Just to help new listeners, Don and this guy's man have been on the show many times. What I think would actually be helpful to doing is explain some of the lore behind your appearance on the show. I would actually love to hear Scuzzman recount just like as much of his kind of personal backstory and the kind of stories that you told and experienced on the show.
Am I seeing a Pepsi can behind you as well, Scuzzman? Yeah, giant Pepsi. Feel free to talk about that as well. Okay.
It's full.
It's unopened.
It does not look full.
He's been saving that Pepsi for a special occasion. It is getting hot. It's heating up. It was calm earlier. What happened was that I went to the vending machine and I found out that this expired. I don't know if you can see right there.
Okay.
April 2020. And you know me, I don't like to drink expired drinks. That's sometimes
you gotta drink it, man.
Just drink, yeah. It'd be fun to drink it on the show.
This is important. All right. Well,
This is gonna be a good episode.
you challenged me. Your vodka. Oh, well, what a little
And I can
sip.
hear how thick it is. It sounds thick.
It tastes expired, that's for sure. Hey, I'm drinking it though. Show your listeners, viewers. It's going down.
Okay.
All right, but yeah, get into your lore because we already have a little bit.
Okay, what?
Let's talk about, just like some of your backstory.
Alright, well, we'll discuss, man. As you know, I live on the beach. I live in a school bus.
This guy's bus. That's right.
School bus. Writing movies with this guy down here. Making movies. Doing movies. What else did I do?
That's 4 episodes, I think, worth of.
Well, there's 2 big movies we did. 4? 4? Damn, wow. I'm fine.
Now you're just drinking it recreational.
Yeah, the first sip's always really important, and then after that, the sips become less. It's more casual. Put a can of liquid
Okay. I think Dom, maybe you can fill some of this stuff in. The last time we talked to you was closer to the beginning of the pandemic, which was affecting you in a different way.
We had just locked down in the Scuzz bus. We were just on the cusp of shooting what wound up becoming it's an incomplete film. Beach Blanket Bingo Rock was what we read as being part of the script here on the show. We got some great feedback from you guys. But unfortunately it just didn't wind up kind of coming together the way we thought. Pre-production was awesome, but production
You guessed it. Yes, I recall that.
It was a really successful pre-production. Everything was teed up, we were teed up for success. Just a great crew that Scuzzman kind of reamed out at the rap party, the pre-production rap party. And so when we went to shoot, there just wasn't the crew, there wasn't the infrastructure, and a lot of the kind of clarity issues that you guys brought to light in the story were just frankly insurmountable. So we kind of took a step back a little bit and said, okay, we've written movies, we've kind of conquered that, we have this one setback, maybe we try to figure out where Hollywood's headed instead of kind of catch up, And that's when I realized Scuzzman kind of has a great investment on it. If you don't mind me saying that, Scuzzman.
No, please do.
When we discovered the stock market, that was a real
That took him into hyperdrive, from where he had obviously already a very good investor, and then the stock market was pouring gasoline on a roaring flame because that allowed him to invest so much more efficiently and effectively. And the thing I was curious about, Scuzzman, is I know that you, obviously, COVID created a lot of tragedy, but there also was, as you mentioned to me, a lot of opportunity. Particularly, there was a great need for testing, and you devised a rapid test. I think you called it a super rapid test because it was even faster than the 10-minute one. And a lot of people who didn't want the nasal option or even the saliva swab, you were willing to stick it up their butt.
I was willing to stick it up the butt because, in a previous life, I have been a nurse, and I used to administer tests like this. I don't know, I don't know if I can do that about his life. I developed this because I had COVID once.
By the time we saw you already had it.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was in a little bit of denial about the last bit, but he definitely taking regular rapid tests.
What better opportunity? I mean, works because I know I definitely have it right now. And I believe you were able to then get even more involved in the film industry because there were a lot of sets that started using your testing company, and it sounded like you were making money hand over fist.
Oh yeah, man! I was doing the COVID protocol and getting all these big names getting ready to fucking stick it up their ass, baby. And test them for the I was raking it in.
Mission Impossible was you. I believe you were the person Tom Cruise was yelling at. Is this right?
Yeah, he was yelling at me because I was taking a
mass break.
I was taking a mass break because I can't breathe. I needed a moment.
That's you were wearing a T-shirt that said that. I remember. On set.
I had T-shirts, I had shorts, and all that stuff. I was trying
on the booty.
I was trying to give them a message and show them what I'm all about.
Well, I've spoken to you a little bit about. I don't know how much you want to say, but I know that when you talked to me, you said that you needed a lot of mask breaks because it was very hard for you to breathe through the mask, particularly because you had COVID. And so that already was making it really hard to breathe. But I suppose Tom is not going to take that as a valid explanation. In fact, he probably would not want to hear that at all.
No, he did not like that. He did not like that, and he was like, how do you have COVID too? And I was like, hey man,
I feel like Tom is in the room. Did Tom just come in? I mean, honestly, the mimicry. Mr. Everybody.
Tom said that to him, and Tom said that to him, and everybody said, how do you have it too? And that was just like horrifying.
Yeah, and what was that? Was that in reference to he also had COVID too?
In addition to having a mask on, that's like lazy testing.
yeah.
Oh, I see.
It's like you're testing and you have it too? Like that was what he was saying, but he even admitted afterward that he phrased it awkwardly, like he apologized to everybody.
He said, I'm usually so articulate. I think that he actually wanted that edited out of the sound clip that was released of him yelling at Stuntman because it really didn't fit with some of the work that
I have the recording still, and I'm thinking about releasing it again. Make money off of that. I just have so many income streams right now. It's just like it's all coming up studs. I'll tell you that.
But I've heard the original recording, and I actually would advise against you releasing it because the stuff that you're interjecting in between Tom, where you're saying like, why are you so stressed out, man? The test doesn't even fucking work anyway.
Let me put it up your butt.
Yeah, I'll stick it up your butt. It's gonna turn green or blue, and they honestly look kind of the same. I just kind of feel it out whether I think the person is positive, and then I hit them with the stamp if they are. And you also were talking about stuff that was just unrelated, like opinions you had, that I don't think it would be to your benefit to share that unedited audio.
Oh no, I disagree. People gotta hear it. People gotta. I'm sorry. My old lady's coming.
Scuzz,
This is
man.
another one, Scuzz, man?
Hey man, you know that's
Is that her?
Yeah, just keep going. Yeah, that's her. It's Tom.
Yeah. I'm telling you, when you use the word old, when you say old lady, it leads people to believe that it's a woman. This happens at restaurants. This happens all. You say, hold on, my old lady's parking the car, and then the dog comes in and it's shocked.
Yeah, and you don't leave. It says,
Yeah, well,
let's have some steak. I mean, in bark.
yeah. No, she doesn't tip. Not yet. But
I
she
would say
does
the
drive
only-
the car.
The only financial setback I feel like we've had, Scuzman, was because with all those tests, right, like everything that he was kind of putting out people's butts, he was sending that off to a lab, and the lab we had never really corresponded with before that. Like their kind of first knowledge that Scuzman
they obviously were like, we're not going to test this. And they had a whole
Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, yes, sorry, friend of Tom. So that case was thrown out.
So the lab, the lab didn't exactly know how to handle it. That must have been disconcerting for them. Also at a time when most labs were overworked already. They got, sounds like a huge crate of butt swap every day.
Yeah. I'm pretty safe, and I guess you figured this out, that these tests were basically like 100% effective, because if you are administering them, and you're just like in proximity of the person getting the test, then they have COVID.
Yeah.
It raises the chances of the test being accurate to have the test happen around the Scuzzman who has COVID, because the test will be positive. Did you have one negative test that you gave, Scuzzman?
Yeah, we had one negative.
But that was the one that you had spilled an entire Diet Pepsi on, is that right?
I believe so. You know, the Diet Pepsi just turns the test around.
Well,
It's
Jeff,
totally
I mean,
inspired.
And that led you to believe that Diet Pepsi cured COVID.
Yeah.
Which led him to, he invested heavily in that stock. Like, that's what led him to go really hard into Diet Pepsi, because he said, no, we can figure this shit out. Like, we are going to make some serious money. And so he bought, I think 1 million shares of Diet Pepsi.
1 million shares. You know, I'm
Just
still
Diet
waiting.
Pepsi, not in the Pepsi Cola company.
I called them up and I said, make sure this is just for the diet. And they were able to fulfill that.
okay.
Yeah, well, when you got the connection for that, pretty easy.
Talk about some of your connections.
Well, in the previous life, I worked on Wall Street. You know,
Okay, but you
This
just
is
found
after
out-
you were a nurse.
You just found out about the stock market.
In this life, in a previous life.
Okay.
Before he was a nurse, right? Before your life, nurse life.
So this is all literal. You're saying that in actual like, previous lives that you've had, not like previous careers.
Yeah, have you heard of like the past life regression and all that?
Yeah, but also I'm like,
I've done that a lot. Okay, you know what I mean? And I've had live after live.
Scuzzman had me hypnotize him. Yeah, he's done so many. He's had life after life. Scuzzman had me hypnotize him and regress into his past lives. He said, all right, I'm gonna close my eyes, now hypnotize me. I want to go back to my nursing. So then I hypnotize him and we do that. He would be a nurse and we kind of have a little chat. And then we do that.
what did you learn? Like what time period was he a nurse in? I mean, I'm just curious about it. Just seems like the least interesting detail of his conversation was that he was a nurse.
He was just a mediocre nurse, and I think the mid-70s.
So that is actually the most interesting one. He's just a
nurse who kind of
normal
did
nurse.
it for like 4 years and then retired and kind of moved on to something else. But
So the conversation sounds like it was very boring.
Yeah, I mean, I remember talking to you guys around this time, and it was a little interesting that you were a nurse who ate cigarettes. Like that was your favorite meal, was like a pack of cigarettes. That you would eat on that fork at night.
Okay, yeah, I can see why that wouldn't come up right away.
So we have like a questionnaire where it's like, what's your favorite color? Like, what kind of music do you like? And then one of the questions like, dream dinner.
Dream dinner was one of the questions.
Dream dinner, yeah.
fortnight plate of cigarettes is what the nurse said.
I think it was dream dinner party. So it was sort of that like any 3 people living or dead, but then Scuzzman, as the nurse, just took it to be like, what would you be eating? And the answer was cigarettes. Fork and knife included.
They have to be freeze.
He loves that smoky flavor, yeah.
Yeah, ooh, taking me back.
Ooh, pink wine.
The 70s, when I was eating cigarettes.
Were you alive in?
In my
past life that's starting, I think, next week.
And working on Wall Street, it sounds a little like that was like maybe during like the 80s.
Oh yeah.
So your current life was happening during all of these past lives as well.
Right. Yeah, Stuzzman 2 is working in Wall Street. Stuzzman 3.
Your past life name Scuzzman 2?
Yeah. That's what I would think. Scuzzman 2, Money Never Sleeps, right? That's what you said your full name was.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of cocaine, making money on Wall
Let's talk, so it seems like you're in this nice room, you've settled down, you're patronizing old vending machines, like your financial situation has kind of changed. You want to talk about any projects that you are working on, like as writing partners, that's what we tended to kind of get into the past of the field.
What's nice is that with the money Scuzzman has kind of accumulated, we're able to self-fund, right? So this whole process with studios, notes, trying to make our vision palatable to other people and explain it is just kind of over. I mean, Scuzzman is kind of like the way it works now is we pitch it through ourselves, and then Scuzzman goes, "Oh, green light," and he puts on this light that he thinks is green, but I don't think it's like.
It's because of his sunglasses, right? It kind of makes certain things green.
With the shades, they were green. I mean, I gotta have the shades making me see everything green, you know. In order to
So
get
all
rebuild the cat.
green. Okay.
And he walks around and goes, green light, he's excited, yeah.
Well, I guess it's good that you have your literally so much drive.
Yeah.
Like in those situations.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of
Although they also dogs are specifically red, green,
Yeah.
colorblind.
His old lady's got the same problem.
You also had
something
There was also a bit of a windfall when you sued Matthew McConaughey over his memoir title, right? Because Green Lights, you owned that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the shirt off, and he never wears it.
Yeah.
Thank so proud of
Thank
him.
the Scuzzman for that. I get no thanks for that.
Scuzzman is going out there about being the next governor of Texas. Scuzzman is going to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I'm going to Texas and I'm gonna stop him. And I might run a campaign against him, you know. In my past life I was a governor.
Okay.
So I've
The
done
best
that
campaign runners.
Any specific governor? Like they're all like
I
sort of
tried to
well
get him
known. They must all be
Wouldn't
like
give me a state.
Okay.
He did the past life regression. He wouldn't say what state he was caged in. He goes, my people didn't elect me to rat them out.
Oh wow.
I'm ratting them out. Doesn't say what state they're in.
What state you're currently the governor of? Can I ask? Do you know like if as Dom is talking to you in your like past life regression?
Yeah.
Are they like just kind of going through their day in the 80s or whatever, and then like suddenly Dom is talking to them from the future? Like, how does that work? Like,
Yeah,
could that
they're
just
all-
like happen to? Could that happen to any of us?
Oh, of course. You know Dom's gotta do it. You
I
know,
guess I'm talking to Dom right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's
It's not an interruption. It's an interruption. Like the first kind of 5 minutes of the past life regression is calming them down. It's calming
Sure.
either Scuzzman 3, 4, 2, Scuzzman Prime, whatever it is, whichever Scuzzman it is we're talking to, and just kind of being like, it's okay, I know you're not in the elevator anymore, you're here with me. And if he gets too scared, he'll kind of say time out,
Okay.
time out, and then he'll be over there, don't ask me that, or stuff like that.
But once they find out that really you just are curious about this stuff, that it wasn't even for like anything that important, it sounds like.
I wish I had much something more urgent to kind of ask them about or convey to them.
You're asking them, they're checking, pulling them out of their present day life to ask them about their dream dinner favorite color, for example.
Yeah,
That's
mixing
a
them with
favorite
ice cream,
color.
basically. Yeah.
Favorite color should be off the questionnaire. I've said this because it never really gets. All versions of Scuzzman, that's one thing that's kind of common. They all like the same color. It is green.
I think about what I do. Sunglasses are not actually. I know you don't know that, but they're like kind of bluish green. But no one would look at that and say that's green.
I've been told that they don't look green, but I see
Okay.
green out of them.
Okay.